divulge my deviance, a slumming skeviance, from a less lenient beanie hat. Garrett Charles Corot with a stopwatch, just to make his mom watch. Gene Shallot's been dead, but he weren't much less rotten with his liver working. Boink your dog with a gherkin. Story starting. Nard nuts. Story signal. Initiate. Santa Maroon. Hornclog deeply regretted his parents. Not only had they named him the American abomination of a name they had, but they had boinked their dippers together in such a fashion as to have produced him in the first place. He was utterly unenthralled with them. They didn't even smell nice. Now that he had slit their throats and bled them dry, he was disgusted with himself for doing it, of course, but when your name is Santa Maroon Hornclog, you get to be used to being disgusted with yourself. He poured a glass of oatmeal and changed stations. On the television, an evangelist was screaming about mercy, and Santa Maroon Hornclog changed the channel. Now, a pretty British lady was cooing about gum. He changed the channel again, and a set of 3 men with toasters for heads and spatulas for hands were beeping about the government. "This is more like it," chanted Santa Maroon Hornclog, who downed his glass of oatmeal in one gulp. He turned the volume up. In crystal clear bursts of Morse code, the toaster heads made it plain that they wouldn't stand for any more of the grandstanding that had come to typify exchanges in both houses of Congress. Santa Maroon Hornclog couldn't have agreed more. "Beep, beep," he remarked to himself, spooning some of his bowl of orange juice down and watching the televised trio pound their spatula hands onto the desk before them. Their images went wavy and were replaced with the scowling countenance of a woman with one eye, no legs, and an indiscriminate haircut. "We regret to interrupt your broadcast, to broadcast an interruption," she cried, clawing out her remaining eye. "But we had no choice." Santa Maroon Hornclog walked over to the desiccated corpse of his mother. "Are you seeing this?" he asked, kicking her lifeless body lightly. No response. On the TV, the now completely eyeless woman continued, "We have decided to reach you through the proper channels. You have been under the lock and guidance of the televised 6. We seek to inform you through diverse means as to the methods of fecal appropriation applicable in your instance. Yes, you heard me correctly." At this, she pivoted to the side and shot the camera a winning grin as thick rivulets of blood slid down her mauled face. "We have the de facto solution to constant bedwetting, and you are getting a no refund offered guarantee or your money down." At the word "down," Santa Maroon Hornclog threw himself onto the floor. Shrapnel burst above him as entire potted shrubs ruptured into obliteration. Whatever missiles the salutary salvo had consisted of, there was little left of his living room. Even his dead parents were nothing more than feet connected to bloody stumps of legs. "No," cried Santa Maroon Hornclog. "We had so much more time." That word conjured resonances deep within the soul of Santa Maroon Hornclog. He locked and loaded his gun safe and automatic weapon, respectively, having previously unlocked his gun safe to retrieve said weapon. He was ready to pay Little Miss No-Eye much bomb a visit with lead. He staggered out into the street, his ears still ringing after the blast. A little paper girl with a bag over her head pedaled by on a tiny pink moped. He raised his gun and cocked the hammer that it, being an automatic, did not have. "Where the living fuck is the television studio?" The girl gave a fear and slammed on her moped's brakes. "Which one?" "The one with the lady." "This way, mister," cried the little paper girl, throwing the Daily National Telegraph Inquirer in his face and riding off as fast as she could. "Follow me." Santa Maroon Hornclog knelt down, touched a button on his ankles, and activated his scalar rocket boots. He flew in the direction indicated by the paper girl, with speeds far in excess of her sturdy but battered moped. "Thanks for the help," he called down to the waving girl, who only nodded and threw a few more copies of the Daily National in response. Before he had time to regret his plan, Santa Maroon Hornclog was zipping towards the massive window of the television studio National at hyper-ultrasonic speeds, well in excess of the speed of sonar. If Santa Maroon Hornclog didn't think fast, he would be spread over that thick pane of glass like a rich, creamy pat of gray poupon. He did the only thing his mercenary mind would let him, and growled like a feral dog as he let loose with a thick spray of highly automatic gunfire. "For all the tea in China," he cried, rather methodically, as the glass rained down like water over the edge of a precipice. He landed like an acrobat and searched the halls. Soon, his wait was over. He found himself face to scarred face with the eyeless woman who had nearly succeeded in blowing his brains all over the palace gates of his suburban living room. "How did you find me?" hissed the woman, once she had smelt who had come to confront her. "You'll have to ask the little paper girl about that wench," replied Santa Maroon Hornclog. "I want answers. Why did you target me?" The woman clenched her teeth and pulled her lips back in a snarl. "Why should I tell you?" she answered, pulling out a keychain bottle opener and brandishing it at Santa Maroon Hornclog like a laser beam ray gun. "Because you are one toothbrush shy of a full pizza oven, and I fully intend to cash it in," laughed Santa Maroon Hornclog, indefensibly, using his automatic rifle handgun like a battle axe and slashing away at the eyeless woman's exposed feet, stuck diligently at the end of her legless torso. "You've done me an injury," cried the woman, more certain than ever that she had left her oven on that morning. "Shit, my oven," she cried. That gave Santa Maroon Hornclog cause for pause. Could he have inadvertently gotten this woman pregnant just now? Is that what she meant? She left him no time to consider as she leapt into action with her keychain bottle opener. "Zap! Zap!" she cried. "Zap! Motherfucker! That's not a laser ray beam gun at all, you ineffectual woman." "I know that, dumbass," she snarled in response. "It's a laser beam ray gun, you brainless turd." But it wasn't that, either, and Santa Maroon Hornclog decided enough was enough. Maybe he never would get the answers he wanted, but one thing was certain. If he had got this crazy chick pregnant, he didn't want to be no daddy. He shot one, and then two, and then 476 shots into her, and she died. "Now, what's for dinner?" he asked, opening the TV station refrigerator. Lots of pizza inside there, but he had no stomach for it. He poured himself a glass of skim cheese and kicked back in the now deserted green room, thinking about his day. Maybe, he reflected, things happened the way they did for a reason. "Oh shit," he said aloud. "I left the oven on."